Hi guys, myself CA Vikalp Gupta. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. As you can see on screen, a big surprise for November 24 students, ITC Adjustment Sheet. As this type of content and sheets are never prepared by any teachers. So ये इस sheet से पहले एक PGBP adjustment sheet हुआ करती थी जो यस खंडेलवाल सर ने बनाई थी. So उनसे इंस्पिरेशन लेके मैंने ITC adjustment sheet prepare करी है. Because in ITC there are 50 to 60 lengthy questions which are difficult to cover in your exam time. So we have covered all the adjustment of those questions in just this sheet. You can cover all the adjustment in just 30 to 35 minutes in this video with referring this sheet also. And before starting this video, if you like our content, so please like this video and subscribe our YouTube channel. And if you are watching this video on your exam day, then you can skip 1 or 2 minutes. And if you are watching during your preparation, then you have to do one thing, like if you have to cover all the remain first basic chapters like supply exemption, and you have to read ITC notes also, then you have to refer this video and this sheet. Then you have to do some questions. In your 1.5 days also, you have to refer first ITC notes, then you have to refer the sheets, then you have to do some important question which I am going to share in the next video, like how you can cover your ITC chapter in just in 3 to 4 hours during your 1.5 days. So in that video, I am going to share some important questions also. You can join our Telegram channel also for that. And let's start this video. You can watch this video at 1.5 times, 1.5x. There are first topic is outward supply, in which we have covered some other adjustment also which you need to understand. Then there is a inward supply, in which you can avail ITC. Then there are some adjustment of inward supply in which you cannot avail ITC. So let's start with outward supply. First point, supply of goods on which condition of contract include inspection and cost of inspection directly paid by the recipient to the testing agency. Cost of inspection is already included in the contract, so it is always included in the value of taxable supply. If anything is included in the contract or which is necessary to supply of goods and services, is always included in the value of taxable supply, irrespective of the payment made by recipient or any other. Second point, registered person which is from Mumbai provided stock counting services to the registered person of the Gujarat, but the stock counting services is provided in the Mumbai only at the godown location. But this is the contradicting point, but we have to follow ICI only. As per ICI, as fixed place of establishment is in Mumbai, as godown is located in Mumbai, so we have to consider as a place of supply is in Mumbai. You have to learn one thing, like in this point, place of supply is considered as the place where the service has been performed or where the fixed establishment, which is in Mumbai here. Third point, provided renting services on a daily basis, daily rent 1500 for residential purpose. Normally residential purpose are exempt, but if you are providing on a daily basis, like on a daily rent, then it is considered as an outward supply. Because बैचलर अपना कोई रूम एज ए ओयो पे रजिस्टर कर दे और वहां से डेली बेसिस पे रेंट आए, सो इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज ए आउटवर्ड टैक्स लायबिलिटी, सो उस पर तो टैक्स कटना चाहिए ना. फोर्थ पॉइंट, अवेल्ड सर्विसेज विच आर लायबल टू पे टैक्स अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज. कुछ सर्विसेज हमने अवेल करी जिसपे टैक्स पेबल इज अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज, इट मींस टैक्स इज पेड बाय अस टू द गवर्नमेंट, बट पेमेंट फॉर द सेम इज नॉट मेड टू द सप्लायर. हमने पेमेंट अब तक सप्लायर को करा नहीं है, एंड विच इज ओवरड्यू फॉर मोर देन 181 days, बट वी हैड पेड ऑलरेडी टैक्स टू द गवर्नमेंट एंड हमने क्रेडिट भी अवेल कर दिया इन द मंथ इन विच ट्रांजेक्शन हैज डन. अब गवर्नमेंट को क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट को मतलब होता है टैक्स से. गवर्नमेंट हैज रिसीव टैक्स बिकॉज हमने टैक्स ऑलरेडी पहले पे कर दिया. गवर्नमेंट को मतलब नहीं वी हैड मेड पेमेंट टू द सप्लायर और नॉट, गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स रिसीव हो गया विच इज मोर देन इनफ. सो और हमने ऑलरेडी क्रेडिट अवेल कर ली, सो देयर इज नो ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ दिस एडजस्टमेंट. सो देयर कोई आउटवर्ड टैक्स लायबिलिटी या कुछ भी क्रिएट नहीं होगी, कुछ एडजस्टमेंट नहीं होगी. फिफ्थ पॉइंट, मुंबई स्टोर ट्रांसफर गुड्स टू द गोवा स्टोर फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग फ्री सैंपल. मतलब मुंबई स्टोर ने तो टैक्सेबल गुड्स ट्रांसफर करे गोवा स्टोर को, बट गोवा स्टोर उसको फर्दर एज ए फ्री सैंपल में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेगा. एंड वैल्यू डिक्लेयर्ड इन इनवॉइस इज 5 लाख, बट नॉर्मली मुंबई आउटसाइडर्स को 8 लाख में सोल्ड करता है, मतलब ओपन मार्केट वैल्यू इज 8 लाख. नॉर्मली क्या होता है, इफ वन ब्रांच कोई दूसरी ब्रांच को सप्लाई करता है गुड्स, तो इफ सेकंड ब्रांच इज एलिजिबल फॉर आईटीसी, सो वैल्यू डिक्लेयर्ड इन इनवॉइस विच इज all value declared in invoice can be considered as a value of taxable supply. But in this case, as Goa store are not eligible to take ITC because Goa store आगे further free samples as is sold करेगा, so we have to consider apply rule 28 of value of taxable supply, which means we have to consider open market value, which is 8 lakh for calculation of taxable outward taxable liability. 6 point supply of goods on FOR basis and lorry freight directly paid by the recipient to the lorry driver. अब FOR basis means होता है कि all the responsibility are of supplier till the goods has been delivered to the place of the recipient. It means lorry freight is also the responsibility of supplier. So it is included in the value of supply. Seventh point, during the month, company will offer credit discount 25% of the product which is discontinued from next month. एंड प्रोडक्ट इज ऑलरेडी लाइंग विद द डीलर एंड डीलर को बोला है कि आप आगे कस्टमर को डिस्काउंट दो क्योंकि नेक्स्ट मंथ से वो प्रोडक्ट डिसकंटिन्यू हो जाएगा एंड फिर बाद में कंपनी रीइंबर्स कर देगी डिस्काउंट को डीलर को. बट आपने डिस्काउंट का पॉइंट पढ़ा होगा तो डिस्काउंट में ऐसा है कि अगर आपने डिस्काउंट दे रहे हो एंड विच इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड इन द एग्रीमेंट देन वी कैन नॉट कंसिडर सच डिस्काउंट. इन दिस केस वो एग्रीमेंट में कुछ भी डिस्काउंट का पॉइंट नहीं था क्योंकि डिस्काउंट का वो पॉइंट तो कंपनी ने बाद में इंट्रोड्यूस करा है जब डिसकंटिन्यू करना था प्रोडक्ट को. सो in this case discount is giving no effect on the value of taxable supply, so we cannot deduct discount from the outward liability. Eighth point, supply of goods through territorial water, and territorial water is distance of 12 nautical miles from Kerala, 11 nautical miles from Tamil Nadu. In such case we have to consider which is less distance. Like in this case 11 nautical miles from Tamil Nadu is less distance from the supply of goods, so we have to consider Tamil Nadu as the place of supply. Ninth point, received an advance for the future supply of goods or services. अगर आपने टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई चैप्टर पढ़ा है तो उसमें है कि इन केस ऑफ एडवांस रिसीव्ड फॉर द सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स वी कैन नॉट कंसिडर इन द मंथ ऑफ एडवांस रिसीव्ड बिकॉज as per time of supply we have to record when the supply of goods has been made or invoice has been raised. But for the advance received for the services we have to consider in the month in which amount in which advance received, so tax will be payable on them only on advance of services. 10th point, export of taxable goods with payment of IGST. Normally export of taxable good is considered as a zero rated supply, but in this case we have made payment of IGST, so it is considered as outward supply, and payment of IGST is considered as outward tax liability. 11th point, export of taxable product under LUT or goods supplied to SEZ. LUT and SEZ are considered as a zero rated supply, so there is no outward tax liability which is considered as nil amount. 12th, consultancy services provided to unrelated client located in foreign country and all the consideration has been received in foreign exchange. If you study place of supply, it is considered as an export of services because all the conditions of export of services has been fulfilled, like recipient is outside India, supplier is from India, and all the consideration has been received in foreign exchange. So it is considered as an export of service, which is also considered as zero rated supply, so there is no outward tax liability. 13th point, sale of building excluding stamp duty value 2.5 lakh being 2% of the value. Sale of building is neither considered as goods or a supply of services, so there will be no outward tax liability. But as it is an outward supply, outward exempt supply, but it is included in the exempt turnover while calculating of कॉमन आईटीसी. अगर आपने आईटीसी का चैप्टर के नोट्स रीड करें उसमें कॉमन आईटीसी का एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसमें एग्जाम्प्ट टर्नओवर एंड टोटल टर्नओवर वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट. सो इसमें सेल ऑफ बिल्डिंग इज इंक्लूडेड इन द एग्जाम्प्ट टर्नओवर एंड टोटल टर्नओवर, and the value included in those exempt turnover and total turnover is SDV value, which is 1.25 CR because 2.5 lakh divided by 2%. 14th point, interest received on investment in fixed deposit. अगर कोई इंटरेस्ट रिसीव हुआ है फिक्स डिपॉजिट पे विच इज कंसिडर्ड एज एन एग्जाम्प्ट सप्लाई, सो देयर विल बी नो आउटवर्ड टैक्स लायबिलिटी. But for consideration of calculation of common ITC, we have to include in the total turnover. This is some exception point है, which is included in total turnover while calculating of common ITC. Not in exempt turnover. Exempt turnover में include नहीं होगा interest received because the सारा हमें only total turnover में include करना है interest received को. Next is sale of share. Sale of share is neither considered as goods or supply, so there is no outward tax liability. But for calculation of common ITC, it is considered as a exempt supply, so it is included in the exempt turnover. Value is included of the sales consideration. जो हमारी sale consideration होगी वो value include करेंगे exempt turnover में. 16th point, supply of goods before clearance of home consumption. आपने ये सप्लाई के चैप्टर में पढ़ा होगा. इट इज कंसिडर्ड नाइदर कंसिडर्ड एज गुड्स नोर कंसिडर्ड एज सर्विसेज, so there will be no outward tax liability, but it is considered as an outward exempt supply, so it is included in the exempt turnover while calculating of common ITC. And supply of petrol and diesel including VAT and excise duty, it is also not considered in GST, so there is no outward tax liability, but it is considered as an exempt supply for calculation of common ITC. And value included in exempt turnover and total turnover will be value less VAT and excise duty. Excise and VAT को हम less करेंगे जो total value है, then उसको exempt turnover and total turnover में include करेंगे. 18th point, recovery agent services provided to body corporate. If any services regarding the recovery agent provided to body corporate is considered as reverse charge, so payment has been made by the recipient, so it is considered so there is no outward tax liability for us. So, but for calculation of common ITC, it is included in exempt turnover. Next point. Amount received from the company for the sponsorship for the exhibition organized by us, and we are the body corporate. So we are the body corporate and we provide services related to sponsorship of services. It is considered as a reverse charge, and for the calculation of common ITC, it is included in the exempt turnover. Direct selling services provided by to bank by an individual for providing services related to open bank account. It is also considered as reverse charge, so it is included in the exempt turnover while calculating common ITC. Supply of cigarette including excise duty, it is considered an outward taxable liability, but जो tax calculate करेंगे which is including excise duty, मतलब value including excise duty पे we have to calculate tax. So next point, provided pure labor services of construction of single commercial unit, not forming part of any complex. This is a for single commercial unit. That's why it is taxable and outward tax liability has been created. But it is for if it is for single residential unit, then it is considered as an exempt supply. 23rd, the company sold, it is considered as exemption. So 23rd, the company sold when used for personal transportation by auction, and no GST credit has been taken at the time of purchase. First, कोई भी GST credit हमने दिया नहीं है, but हम आगे sold करें for the value, so we have to charge tax on the outward tax liability, taxable supplies. But कुछ students को confusion होगी कि ये personal transport है तो इस पे GST क्यों? कंपनी के लिए पर्सनल ट्रांसपोर्ट वो है, कंपनी अपने हिसाब से बता रही कि उसके लिए पर्सनल ट्रांसपोर्ट है, लाइक एम्प्लॉय को पिकअप और दूर फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करना. सो इट इज फॉर कंपनीज पर्सनल ट्रांसपोर्ट विच इज नॉर्मल बिजनेस फॉर द कंपनीज, सो इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज एन आउटवर्ड टैक्सेबल लायबिलिटी. So 24th point, company has a policy of raising invoice separately toward transportation of goods, and the company is collecting 5% on all the transaction, and the amount is collected as percentage of the value of goods supply. चाहे कंपनी अलग सेपरेटली इनवॉइस रेज करे ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का लिए, बट इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज ए कंपोजिट सप्लाई. सो जो रेट हम गुड्स पे अप्लाई करेंगे सेम रेट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट पे अप्लाई होगी, सो देयर विल बी सिमिलर रेट फॉर बोथ बिकॉज ऑफ कंपोजिट सप्लाई. 25th point, Vasudev is an operating member in the mining and exploration services. He provides certain services to the joint venture at the same site, which he is also a member. He believes that the consideration received from the joint venture is post-petroleum and not taxable. पहले मैं बता दूं, पोस्ट पेट्रोलियम एंड पेट्रोलियम स्लिट आर नॉट टैक्सेबल in GST, but it is the services provided to the joint venture which is not considered as a post petroleum, so it is taxable. 26 point, he sells petroleum slit as a part of compensation. A petroleum slit not considered as a not taxable under GST, so there is no auto tax liability. Sold of future derivative contract with no delivery option. Agar there will be no if there is no delivery option in case of derivative contract, it is considered as a security, and there is no tax liability on security as not considered as goods or services. 28th, passenger transportation services provided to general public by a company through ferry between two islands, and purpose was facilitate daily commutation of local people. It is a normal services provided by the company, like एक ferry से लोगों को commutation provide करती है, like normal bus services. So it is considered as an exempt supply because passenger transport services for daily commutation of local people is exempt. So that's all for outward supply. इनमें इसमें हमने सारी एडजस्टमेंट ऑफ आउटवर्ड सप्लाई की कवर कर दी है. So let's start with the second part, inward supply, in which ITC is not ITC is available. So इन सारे एडजस्टमेंट में हम ITC क्लेम कर सकते हैं. Start with first, purchase of manufacturing machines sent directly to the job worker premise under delivery चालान. If कोई भी मशीनरी हमने जॉब वर्कर की premise में डायरेक्टली सेंड करी है without first bringing to the principal place, then ITC can also claim for such goods also, because job worker premise is the additional place of business for principal. Next, import computer accessories from Korea and goods landed in the Mumbai port. Goods reached to the registered premise on 3rd January. IGST has been paid on 20th December preceding year. It means that IGST हमने already last month pay कर दिया था, but goods has been received in this month. But ITC can be claimed in the month in which goods has been received. So IGST can be claimed in the month of January. Next, apart from the above, received 15 invoice of IGST of 1 lakh. Out of 15, 12 invoice of IGST 95,000 were uploaded by the supplier in GSTR1. Remaining invoice has not been uploaded. So IGST can be ITC can be claimed of the invoices which is uploaded by the supplier in GSTR1. So only 12 invoice का ITC हम claim कर सकते हैं of 95,000 का. Next, Jumbo Sales private supplier of ready-made garment announced buy one get two free of on man टी-शर्ट. इसमें मेन कंफ्यूजन क्या होती है कि बाय वन गेट टू है, तो गेट टू जो फ्री है उस पर भी हम आईटीसी क्लेम कर सकते हैं क्या? सो यस, वी कैन क्लेम आईटीसी ऑन बाय वन गेट टू होल सप्लाई, बिकॉज बाय वन गेट टू थ्री टी-शर्ट इज a combined supply for a single price, so ITC can be claimed for all the t-shirts. Next, company has availed work contract services for the construction of foundation on which machinery is to be mounted permanently. वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर्विसेज का आपको कुछ पॉइंट समझने पड़ेंगे. इन केस ऑफ वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर्विसेज यूज फॉर द प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, देन वी कैन क्लेम आईटीसी फॉर सच सर्विस. इन केस ऑफ वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर्विसेज यूज फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल टू कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ इमूवेबल property and for own use, then ITC cannot be claimed. But in case construction of immovable property for another use, for client use or for another purpose, then ITC we can claim. So in that case, work contract services we use for the machinery is to be mounted permanently, so ITC can be claimed. Next, work contract services availed for the erection and installation of RO treatment. It is considered as plant and machinery, so ITC can be claimed. Next, work contract services used in the repair of factory building, which is debited in plant and machinery. So repair of factory का भी हम ITC claim कर सकते हैं work contract services का. And next, procurement cement plant services of architect and interior design for the construction of commercial complex for one of its client. The service is used for its client for further supply, so we can claim ITC for that also. Ninth, availed maintenance and repair services for the motor for construction for truck used in transportation of goods. हम ITC ट्रक्स पे क्लेम कर सकते हैं for the transportation of goods. So maintenance and repair service also we can claim ITC for maintenance and repair services. 10th, telephone expenses paid toward mobile phone bill used by employee for official purpose. In case of telephone used for official purpose, ITC can be claimed. Next, life insurance policy specified employee has been taken for fulfillment of statutory obligation. In case of statutory obligation, we can claim ITC of life insurance policy or any other policy. Next, consumable purchase from registered supplier including diesel, value 31,250 for running the machinery in the factory. So in that case, diesel पे हम ITC claim नहीं कर सकते and remaining consumable पे भी we can claim ITC consumables पर. So 31,250 का ITC claim नहीं होगा for diesel. Remaining consumable पर we can claim ITC. Next, raw material imported from China, basic custom duty 15,000, social welfare charges 15,000, integrated tax 29,970. We already paid integrated tax of 29,970 on the import from the China, so we can claim ITC of that amount. Next, raw material imported from China and supplier has not uploaded GSTR1. It is an important point because normally क्या होता है कि supplier ने in GSTR1 upload नहीं किया होता तो we can not claim ITC for such invoice. But in that case we have imported from China, so we have to pay tax to government in RCM. So जब हमें टैक्स पे करना है गवर्नमेंट को तो we can claim ITC also. अगर हम गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स पे कर दिया तो हम वी कैन क्लेम ITC also whether supplier has uploaded GSTR1 or not in case of RCM. Next, freight paid to GTA for inward transportation for taxable items. So in case of payment to GTA for taxable item, we can claim ITC. Next, availed services of arbitral tribunal to settle a case. In case of tribunal services availed, so ITC can be claimed in RCM, but RCM पे tax apply होगा. Next, paid remuneration to independent director and sitting fee for any director. So in that case, normal agar remuneration has been paid to the normal director, so it is considered as salary, not taxable under GST. But remuneration paid to independent director, it is considered as a normal fee, so we can claim ITC on that also. And sitting fee to any director, we can pay sitting amount to any director and claim ITC for such amount, such GST. But in that case also RCM apply for independent director and sitting fee to any director. Next point, 18th, person has been assigned to the mining right from government and the amount of IGST involved in royalty payment is 3 lakh. In that case also a reverse charge mechanism apply. Next, person was allotted in the office on rent by state government. If we have taken office by the state government, then in that case also reverse charge apply. Received a debit note in the month of inward supply in the respective month of financial year 2021, but received debit note in the current month of the invoice of 2021 financial year. We can claim ITC for such debit note amount in that current month. Next, purchase silk yarn from a person who manufactures silk yarn from silk milk. It is a case of reverse charge of goods in case of goods. So यहाँ पे हमने एग्रीकल्चर से हमने परचेज करा सिल्क यार्न, so we can claim ITC also and it is chargeable under reverse charge. Next, legal services received from advocate for taxable goods. It is also chargeable under reverse charge. Rent paid to local municipality, taxable under reverse charge. 24th, raw material and capital goods used exclusively for taxable outward supply. In case of taxable outward supply, ITC can be claimed. Next, raw material and capital goods used for both taxable and exempt supply. In case of used by both exempt and taxable supply, then common ITC we have to calculate as per ITC chapter. So इसमें common tax credit calculate होगा. So उस बेस पे हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे कि कितना टैक्सेबल है कितना एग्जेम्प्ट के लिए यूज हुआ है. नेक्स्ट, रॉ मटेरियल परचेज फॉर जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई वेदर टैक्सेबल और एग्जेम्प्ट गुड्स. ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि हमने रॉ मटेरियल परचेज करा विच इज यूज फॉर टैक्सेबल और एग्जेम्प्ट गुड्स, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि हम जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, हम आगे एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, तो इंडिया में चाहे टैक्सेबल हो चाहे एग्जेम्प्ट हो हमें मतलब नहीं है, ITC कैन बी अवेल्ड. नेक्स्ट, लेड पाइपलाइन अप टू द गेट ऑफ फैक्ट्री फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन फैसिलिटी. अगर अप टू द गेट ऑफ फैक्ट्री है तो ITC कैन नॉट बी क्लेम, बट इनसाइड द फैक्ट्री जितने भी पाइपलाइन हम लेड करेंगे उस पर ITC वी कैन क्लेम. Next, in case of ISD, total value of credit note has been received during the month and applicable exclusively to the particular unit. तो इस पे हम IGST हम applicable हो रहा है पर्टिकुलर यूनिट, उस पे IGST we can distribute कर सकते हैं. बट इसमें important point क्या है, total value of credit note has been received. जहाँ पे भी total value लिखा आ गया वहाँ पे it means कि it will include the value of supply including tax. So हमको पहले टैक्स अलग करना पड़ेगा, देन वो टैक्स को हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ेगा. तो ये पॉइंट आपको ध्यान रखना है कि टोटल वैल्यू को अगर लिखा हो तो हमें कैसे करना है। सो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, in IST, as a IST, input service used by all unit ineligible ITC in term of section 917(5). It means हमने कोई सर्विस यूज करी उस पे ITC इनएलिजिबल था तो वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा या नहीं होगा। Yes, in case of IST, ineligible ITC also distributed to the units which use the such services. Next, goods purchased from the supplier in the month of January, where full payment of goods has been made to supplier, but tax has been deposited by supplier in the month of April. यहाँ पे हम प्रोविजनली जनवरी में हम आईटीसी क्लेम कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हमने तो फुल पेमेंट कर दी, सप्लायर ने टैक्स पे नहीं करा, तो ये पॉइंट भी आपको एक ध्यान रखना है। नेक्स्ट, परचेज ए मैक्सी कैब फॉर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉय एंड टू एंड फ्रॉम ऑफिस टू होम। सो इन केस ऑफ मैक्सी कैब, आपको मैक्सी कैब की मीनिंग पता होनी चाहिए, विच इज सिटिंग कैपेसिटी मोर देन 13 पैसेंजर, सो वी कैन क्लेम आईटीसी फॉर सच कैब। नेक्स्ट, परचेज मोबाइल फोन, कंपनी ने परचेज करा मोबाइल फोन फॉर 1.2 lakh in its name and given to the employer to perform duties, but in the end of the month company sold this mobile phone at 20,000. कंपनी चाहे 20,000 की सोल्ड करे हो, बट इट इज अ केस ऑफ रिलेटेड पार्टी, सो वी हैव टू कंसीडर द ओपन मार्केट वैल्यू और उस पे हम लायबिलिटी क्रिएट करेंगे एंड आईटीसी कैन आल्सो अवेल एट 1.2 लाख। और ओपन मार्केट वैल्यू पे जो भी आईटीसी की जो भी जीएसटी क्रिएट होगा उस पे हम आईटीसी क्लेम कर सकते हैं। Next, purchase goods from manufacturer as a merchant exporter, payment of IGST 0.1% and export same under LUT. So इसमें हमने पेमेंट करी है 0.1% of IGST, so we can claim ITC that payment of IGST. So next point, company purchase a three-wheeler for a sitting capacity of 2%, engine capacity is 20 cc, which is used for transportation of staff from resident to factory. इसमें मोटर व्हीकल की आपको डेफिनेशन पढ़नी पड़ेगी क्योंकि उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि 20 सीसी की है तो वो मोटर व्हीकल में कवर नहीं होता। सो वी कैन क्लेम आईटीसी फॉर सच व्हीलर which has engine capacity of 20 cc. So ITC can be availed. Next, purchase of employee uniform which is necessary for safety of workers. In case of safety of worker, we can claim ITC for such uniform, but some of the uniform used by the employee outside the factory for personal purpose. अगर उसमें से कोई कुछ यूनिफॉर्म और पर्सनल पर्पस के लिए यूज कर रहे हो तो उस पर आईटीसी नहीं मिलेगा, सो हमको ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ेगा दोनों में। नेक्स्ट, monthly rent for the complex of for office and amount paid for packing the item and putting label, both taxable and non taxable. अगर हमने कोई मंथली रेंट दे रहे हैं ऑफिस का या अमाउंट पे कर रहे हैं फॉर पैकिंग द आइटम्स, बट टैक्सेबल एंड नॉट टैक्सेबल दोनों गुड्स के लिए, देन वी हैव टू सेपरेट इट एज पर कॉमन क्रेडिट कैलकुलेशन। सो इसमें भी कॉमन क्रेडिट अलग करेंगे कॉमन आईटीसी को, फिर देन कैलकुलेट करके अलग अलग डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। सो दैट्स ऑल फॉर सेकंड पार्ट, in case inward RTC in which ITC can be availed. So let's start with third part, inward supply on which ITC is not available. First, raw material and capital goods used exclusively for exempt supply. If we use for exempt supply, then ITC is not allowed. Raw material purchase for which invoice is missing, but delivery challan is available. वेदर डिलीवरी चालान इज अवेलेबल और नॉट, हमने एक पॉइंट पढ़ा था कि इनवॉइस होना जरूरी है फॉर आईटीसी। सो इफ देयर इज नो इनवॉइस इज मिसिंग, देन आईटीसी इज नॉट अलाउड ऑन सच रॉ मटेरियल। थर्ड पार्ट, इनपुट टैक्स ऑन केटरिंग सर्विसेज प्रोक्योर्ड इन कनेक्शन विद सेरेमनी एंड आउटडोर केटरिंग सर्विसेज अवेल्ड फॉर बिजनेस मीटिंग। अगर आउटडोर केटरिंग सर्विसेज we have taken outdoor catering services or catering services for ceremony or other business meeting, which is ITC is blocked on that until which is used for further supply. In this case, we are not using for further supply, so ITC is blocked for catering services. Next, input tax on cosmetic and plastic surgery for manager of factory. So here cosmetic and plastic surgery used by the manager, which is exempt, which is ITC is blocked on that because it is not used for further supply. Next, GST paid on premium payment on health insurance, GST paid on rent a cab services availed for transportation of employee, or ITC on travel benefit extended to employees, or ITC for fitness or well-being for employees, or gift given to employees, which is not obligatory under law. If it is not obligatory under law, then ITC is blocked for that adjustments. Next, purchase of car used by director exclusively for the purpose of business meeting. And in that case, car is used which is sitting capacity less than 13. So ITC also blocked on such adjustment also. Next, car purchase floor making further supply of such car. Purchase for making further supply, but such car is destroyed in accident by customer in test drive. टेस्ट ड्राइव में कार डिस्ट्रॉयड हो चुकी है बिफोर सप्लाई ऑफ सच कार, उससे पहले ही कार डिस्ट्रॉय हो चुकी है, तो इट इज आईटीसी इज ब्लॉक्ड अंडर दिस एडजस्टमेंट ऑल्सो बिकॉज आईटीसी ब्लॉक्ड होता है डिस्ट्रॉयड गुड्स पे. सो आईटीसी इज ब्लॉक्ड फॉर दैट ऑल्सो. Next, purchase raw material store in factory got spoiled due to rain and become unusable and received insurance amount for the same. Whether insurance amount received or not, ITC is blocked for spoiled goods or destroyed goods. So ITC is not available for that also. Next, company caught an employee who has stolen goods during the month, and goods cannot be recovered, but company successfully recovered cost from employee, and IGST already availed on such goods. If IGST already availed and goods has been stolen, whether amount received from the employee or not, but goods have already stolen, so ITC need to be reversed in such case. Next, solar panel installed in a factory for providing electricity to be used in factory. Here, solar panel is the work contract services used for the construction of immovable property. So it is not allowed in such case. ITC is not available because as you read work contract services used for plant and machinery, then ITC is available. For work contract services for immovable service used by company owned, then ITC is blocked. 11th, work contract services available for construction of car parking shed in its premise. So car parking shed is not a plant and machinery. So in this case also work contract services is blocked for ITC. 12th, as input services distributor, ITC pertaining to the March was not distributed considered for the distribution in this year. As इसमें क्या हुआ, ISD के केस में ITC फॉर द मार्च अवेलेबल था, मार्च में अवेलेबल था, उस टाइम उन्होंने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं करा, बट दे वांट टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट इन करंट ईयर. In case of ISD, ITC is available and distributed in the same month. लाइक आपको मार्च में अवेलेबल हुआ है आईटीसी, तो मार्च में ही आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ेगा, आप बाद में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर सकते, चाहे अप्रैल में नहीं कर सकते, चाहे नेक्स्ट ईयर भी नहीं कर सकते. So ITC is blocked under this adjustment also. In case of ISD, inputs used by one unit. Here only inputs is mentioned. It means input for goods. And in case of ISD applicable only on service mechanism. So for goods, input service distribution is not available. 14th, salary paid to staff. Salary पे GST लगता ही नहीं है. No GST on salary. 15th, registration certificate of voluntary registration has been granted on 24th September, and value of input contained on finished goods is 2 lakh, and such inputs has been purchased on 19th September last year. As you read, in case of voluntary registration, जो भी हमारे पास goods होते हैं वो लास्ट डे ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन, लाइक 24 सितंबर को रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ है, तो 23 से 1 ईयर बैक तक के जितने भी गुड्स हमने परचेज करे उन पे हम आईटीसी ले सकते हैं. As in such case, 19th September last year, which is far more than 23rd September, so ITC is not available because last 23rd September of last year से ITC मिल सकता है, हमें 19th September का ITC नहीं मिलेगा. Next, audit fee paid to the chartered accountant and firm raised e-invoice without IRN, and it is reflecting under 2 GSTR 2A. Whether reflecting or not, if e-invoice has been raised, then IRN number need to be raised with e-invoice. If IRN number is not raised, then no ITC available against such invoice. 17th, freight paid on to GTA for inward transportation of goods not available for GST or exempt goods. If freight paid to GTA for exempt goods or any goods which is not taxable under GST, then ITC also not available for such expense. 18th, raw material for which invoice has been received and GST also has been paid, but raw material has been received only 50% in this month and 50% remaining will received in the next month. As in this case, already invoice has been raised and GST also paid, but full raw material has not been received. So it is a case of installment and lot. So in case of goods has been received in installment and lot, ITC will be available in the last installment or load. So in that case, ITC will be available when the remaining 50% will receive in the next month. So full ITC can be taken in the next month only. 19th, GST paid on the item, free samples and calendar distributed to the customer. In case of free sample or calendar distributed to the customer, free goods, so ITC is not available against such goods also. Next part, 20th point, capital goods purchase on which depreciation has been taken full value including tax. If GST अमाउंट पे भी हमने depreciation चार्ज कर लिया है तो उस पे भी ITC नहीं मिलेगा, बिकॉज depreciation से हम वहां से डिडक्शन ले रहे हैं, सो उस पे हम GST का ITC नहीं ले सकते. Next, goods purchased were invoice sent in the month of January and goods received in the month of April. As per time of supply, goods received in the month of April, so ITC available in the month of April only. Next, one invoice of input service dated 20th January has been received in October. Annual return for the financial year has been filed on 15th September. आपने ITC का पॉइंट पढ़ा होगा तो उसमें था पॉइंट कि ITC कैन बी अवेल्ड after such financial year till the 30th November. So in this case, January का ITC we can take up to 30th November or annual return filed, whichever is earlier. So annual return is filed on 15th September. So ITC can be taken up to 15th September for the financial year in which invoice has been issued. So but invoice has been raised in received in October. So वो अक्टूबर में रिसीव हुआ है बट हम 15 सितंबर तक ही ITC का अवेल कर सकते थे उस पर्टिकुलर ईयर का. सो इन दैट केस अक्टूबर में हम ITC नहीं ले सकते. ITC इज नॉट अवेलेबल ऑन सच इनवॉइस. Next, consideration paid for repair of machinery used for taxable goods. Machinery was sent to USA for carrying out repair work. If हमने मशीनरी सेंड करी है यूएसए में फॉर द रिपेयर वर्क, सो इन दैट केस प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी आउटसाइड इंडिया, बिकॉज place of supply in such case will be where the actual work has been performed, so it is outside India, and location of supplier is also outside India, so it is not liable for GST in India. 24th, transportation of goods by horse pulled carts. It is not a GTA, so no GST is applicable on that also. 25th, company paid security services to another company. Another company is unregistered. सो इन दैट केस आपने सिक्योरिटी सर्विसेज का आरसीएम का पॉइंट पढ़ा होगा कि सिक्योरिटी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडेड बाय अदर देन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट देन टैक्सेबल अंडर आरसीएम, बट इन दैट केस प्रोवाइडेड बाय बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट टू अनदर बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट. In that case, forward charge has been applied, but in this point another company is unregistered. So in that case, no GST has been applicable on that also, because सामने वाली पार्टी ऑलरेडी अनरजिस्टर्ड है तो वो टैक्स कैसे कट करेगी फॉरवर्ड चार्ज में. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स फ्रॉम चाइना अंडर CIF. अगर हमने चाइना से गुड्स परचेज करे हैं, इंपोर्ट करा है ऑन ए CIF बेसिस, इट मींस दैट ऑल द लायबिलिटी टिल द इंडिया पोर्ट will be held by the supplier. So all the risk and reward held by the supplier, and the goods already sold on a high sea sales. मतलब रास्ते में ही हमने गुड्स को सोल्ड कर दिए. सो इट इज नॉट टैक्सेबल इन इंडिया, बिकॉज इंडिया में जब तक आया ही नहीं गुड्स तो वो टैक्सेबल नहीं है, बिकॉज CIF बेसिस पे था. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, ट्रांसफर ऑफ गुड्स टू ब्रांच विद इन स्टेट. अगर एक ही स्टेट में विद इन ब्रांच हम ट्रांसफर करते हैं गुड्स, बिकॉज एक ही स्टेट का एक ही रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है, विद इन ब्रांच ट्रांसफर करने पे कोई GST एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. Next point, purchase goods from one party in one country and sold to another country without bringing goods in India. हमने बाहर की बाहर कोई कंट्री से किसी दूसरी कंट्री में सोल्ड कर दिया विदाउट ब्रिंगिंग टू इंडिया, सो इट इज नॉट टैक्सेबल. इट इज नाइदर एज सप्लाई कंसिडर्ड एज सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज. आपने सप्लाई का चैप्टर पढ़ा होगा, उसमें ये पॉइंट होता है. एंड उसी पॉइंट में यह है कि सेल्स कमीशन पेड टू देयर एजेंट कनेक्टेड विद दिस ट्रांजेक्शन. हमने उनके एजेंट को सेल्स कमीशन पे करा है, सेल्स कमीशन हमने आउटसाइड इंडिया पे करा है, तो इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट टैक्सेबल अंडर GST. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, पेड इनवर्ड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एक्सपेंस टू द टेम्पो ओनर who has not issued consignment. If consignment note issued नहीं करा तो it is exempt. In that case GST is not applicable because consignment note is compulsory in case of GTA. 30th point, invoice of service rental to the car of last year 2nd December का कोई invoice था rental car का, so was omitted to record in books of accounts and no payment has been made against the same in January. We are in January and last month 2nd December का कोई invoice था service का, so it is omitted to in the books of accounts, so we have to check time of supply. In that case, 60 days from the 2nd December will be 1st February. So in that case, all the ITC can be availed in the month of February, in the month of Feb, and no ITC available in the month of Jan. Next point, a company registered under Maharashtra purchase processing machine from a person registered in Gujarat. कंपनी ने एक महाराष्ट्र की कंपनी ने कोई मशीन परचेज करी गुजरात से, गुजरात का रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन है, मशीन वर बोट इन एज इज वेयर इज कंडीशन इन गुजरात प्रोड्यूस आइटम, मतलब हमने मशीनरी गुजरात में परचेज करी और वहीं पे हमने आइटम्स प्रोड्यूस करे हैं. सो यहाँ इन दैट केस प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी इन गुजरात बिकॉज वहाँ पे मशीनरी स्टेब्लिश का है गुजरात में. सो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई ऑल्सो इन गुजरात, लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लाई ऑल्सो इन गुजरात. सो CGST IGST एप्लीकेबल, बट द recipient is in Maharashtra. So ITC cannot be taken off CGST SGST of Gujarat in Maharashtra. So in that case also ITC is not available. That's all for the third part, inward supply, on which ITC is not available. That's all from my side. Use this sheet during your exam days so that you can cover ITC in such a less time. And share this sheet to your friend also. And one more thing, मैं अभी ITC 1.5 डेज में आपको कैसे कवर करना चाहिए इन जस्ट 3 to 4 आवर, उसकी मैं एक और वीडियो अपलोड करने वाला हूँ जिसमें अराउंड मैं 5 to 6 इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन विद दिस एडजस्टमेंट शीट, क्योंकि उस 5 to 6 क्वेश्चंस में एक कॉमन ITC के क्वेश्चंस है एंड सारे क्वेश्चंस इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस मैं कवर करूंगा विद दिस एडजस्टमेंट शीट. सो ITC हैंडबुक मैं एक लॉन्च कर रहा हूँ in the next video. So please like this video and subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon also. So thank you guys, and kindly comment in this video after your exam if this sheets help you.